look at this and I'm going to take you through it. So this is the initial booking page if you want to do a free 20-minute qualification consultation to see if it's right for you. So it's a little bit about me, who I am, what I do, for people who might wander onto the page that I haven't met before. But this is for your webinar or workshop done with you or for you. So if you've been dreaming of launching a workshop or webinar, we can make it happen this summer. If you're watching this in real time, and of course, if it's the winter, autumn, you can get in touch, see if I'm still offering these, but I'm going to do 2 of them this summer. So it's one of those things, if running a workshop has been on your to-do list or you want to run a live webinar, then this is most definitely for you. I know for some people they're overwhelmed by the technology, so we can co-create it, or I can actually run it with you or even for you, depending on which approach you want to take. And if you've been just struggling really with, formatting your ideas, figuring out how to present them, what would you leave in, what would you leave out? Because for many people, it's not that they haven't got the ideas, although that's sometimes what they believe, is they've got so many ideas and then it just gets too much and overwhelming in terms of, oh my gosh, what do I do with this? How do I put it all together? And if also you want to see behind the scenes and how it all works, or you just want to turn up and run your webinar or your workshop and not have to worry about any of the other stuff, then this is definitely for you. So typically, it's not exclusive to this list, but you might be a coach, therapist, consultant, author, business owner, entrepreneur, or a would-be trainer. You've been really dreaming of running your own training course, teaching people what you know, then this is for you. So what it is, a way to bring your ideas to life and actually deliver an event. So it might be that this is going to be your first ever webinar or online workshop, or it could be, right, I'm working on something else. I now want to disseminate the next thing I know and bring another product to the market. So for the person I've most recently worked with, they'd never run a live webinar before, they'd never run a live online workshop, and they did both in the time that we were working together. So that was fantastic. And one of those was a free workshop, but it still brought them in paid clients. And one of them was a paid workshop. So again, it brought in paid clients. And I'm not saying that's exactly what's going to happen for you, because on this occasion, I shared what they were doing with my list. And so the sales came from my clients. However, you might be doing something that isn't a good fit for my client. So that was a lovely byproduct. That's not the main thing I'm focusing on. The main thing here is getting your ideas out into the world for your market. And that's the side that then you will, of course, take on. So some of the things we can do before the webinar, help you to brainstorm ideas and get those kind of key themes and sort out the core material. I can work with you to help you map out the proposed structure if that's something you're not clear about, providing outline guidance on the order and the sequence. Let's say if you're creating a PowerPoint presentation, guidance on setting up the webinar landing page or the booking system for your free or paid webinar. I can create some promotional material, poster, image to help you promote the webinar. You can use that as the SEO screenshot, for example. And we can record a short audio or video interview where we discuss your forthcoming event. So with the particular client I worked with, I actually interviewed them about who they are and what they do, etc. Now, during the webinar, there's an option where I can actually run the webinar for you, either front facing, where I'm kind of, nudging you along and saying, what about this? Or, and we're bouncing between, or I can just be behind the scenes. So you're on camera, I'm not. And the overall thing, regardless of which of those 2 options you choose, it just means you don't have to worry about the technology, because I'll be using my webinar platform, not Zoom. Zoom is fine. If you use Zoom and that's what you want to use, great, go forth and do that. But with the particular client I worked with, I used my webinar platform. So I was doing all of the technology behind the scenes and front of house, depending on how they wanted to do it. And so all they needed to do is just turn up and share what they do, just go forth, what I call stand and deliver. I can Again, depending on the approach you take, manage the attendees, the chat, the live Q&A. So again, you just focus on delivering your material. And with one of them, I was even doing the slides. So every time they said the next thing, I would just transition the slide along, so they didn't need to think about that either. And of course, if you're using my platform, I can record the webinar for you. And then after the webinar, if I've run it for you, you'll receive an MP4 file of the workshop or the webinar. So that means you can take it, upload it, cut it into smaller files, etc. If I've used my booking system, you'll receive the Excel file for the attendee list. So in the case of the client I've just worked with, they got a list of new clients, and that helped them build their own mailing list and their own, if they're ever going to write a newsletter, etc. They've now got a group of people that have come through both the free webinar and also the paid webinar. And again, depending on how long we're working together, the package you choose, I can host an evergreen for you, which means once you've run the live, you don't have to run it again unless you really want to, but people can go and purchase the replay recording, so that can become an ongoing revenue stream for you. So that's another thing. And some of the benefits I would say with regards to this, going from a blank sheet of paper to completed idea, because I'm like, let's not hang about. I think with one of the people that I worked with, we went from, hey, that sounds like a good idea. And they're like, oh, I really would love to do this. I'm like, what's stopping you? And they're like, I said, do you want to do it? Yeah, boom. We put the date in the diary right then and there. And then we spent the next couple of weeks just working towards it and ran the event within a month. So let's not hang about. That's what I'm saying. Let's do it this summer. Get your ideas out of your head, out of your heart, out of your mind, and into the world. That's really what we're going for. Relieving the stress, removing the confusion, the overwhelm that can actually come with both having to create an event and then run an online event. Now, I've been saying online, because that's what we've been doing thus far. You could take this and run it as an in-person. I just wouldn't be there if you happen to be in America or Australia or Dubai, Saudi, unless you want to fly me over. But, you know, it doesn't have to be online. It's just what we've been doing thus far. Creating a new product, launching a new service for your audience. You can get this done, as I said, in a matter of weeks. Running your online workshop or event. That can be a big deal for people. I've run hundreds, probably thousands now, of both in-person and online events. I love it. I find it great fun, and I know that's not the case for everyone, hence helping to do the heavy lifting. Again, depending on the approach that you take, you can be taken through the entire behind the scenes and front of house process with myself, Marilyn Devonish, for those I haven't met before, and doing, I'll be running the key aspects for you, so you don't have to be thinking about all of that. However, we do a debrief afterwards, so you actually know exactly what it is you can do. So you'll come out of this with a completed webinar or workshop that you can continue to offer and sell if you choose to. A recording of the webinar, as I said before, and also a download JPEGs or any PDFs that I've created for you in terms of assets, sending those over to you as well. A few things that are outside of what I call the core package. I've been doing some surveys with people on my list in terms of, right, these are the 27 things that are available so far. And that was a high level list. There's a lot more that sits underneath that. And very quickly it's like, well, actually, you know what, everybody's not going to need the same thing. People are at different places and spaces and levels and all the rest of it. Because some people becoming like, yeah, I run Zoom events all the time. I just need help with this bit here or this bit here. And other people be going, I've never run it before. Help. So it's going to be different. So there's going to be the core package. And then outside of that, there might be things like mindset and confidence coaching. Because one of the things about teaching, training, running events, be that in person or online, oftentimes it's not about the fact that people don't know their stuff. It's that they get into their own head and they all get cold feet, the jitters, talk themselves out of it, have 1,000,001 excuses. And really all it just is, you just need to sort out the mindset and the confidence. And with one particular client who had a bit of a wobble and wanted to just pull out of the whole thing, we did like an hour and they're like, by the end of it, like, oh my God, so excited, can't wait to run the workshop. And they ran it and did a fantastic job, as I knew they would. So it could be for some, I've created short promo video clips from their main webinar or workshops. I take the full thing and then just start creating little sound bites of that. Helping some with idea generation and dissemination of ideas, because it's like, okay, they've got they know what they do, but they've never broken it down in a way that they would have to teach someone else or explain it. And so it's saying, okay, right, I hear what you said, how about doing this? And this is a really good way to describe this, and this is a good way to do that, and helping them kind of do it from that perspective. As I said, there can be the webinar just done for you, where you just turn up, deliver your material, and you don't need to think about any of the technology. So on those occasions, using my platform, I did, the landing page, wrote the copy based on what the client had said in terms of what they do, got people registered, ran the event, set up the auto reminders that go out to people, was there on the day to run the actual webinar, let people in and do all the slides and do the recording and yada, yada, yada. And then the post thing, we're uploading the replay and the post webinar, all of that, so that's the full done for you. With some, it might be helping them or actually mapping out a proposed structure. So one of the things I've done is just listen to people talk. Okay, tell me about it. What do you do? How do you do it? Boom, boom, boom. And by the time they finish talking, about 10-15 minutes later, I'm like, okay, what about this? And that's oftentimes what people end up going with. They're like, oh my God, that's it. That's perfect. So, you don't need to worry about them mapping it out. Tell me, and then I can kind of hear that. And also the benefit of that is I'm hearing it from almost the customer and client perspective as well. Whereas when you're really fantastic at what you're doing, you're totally into it, you're not necessarily always seeing it like that because you just know it so well. So there's that side. With some, I have actually done the PowerPoint deck for them. So up to 15 slides. We're not going to be doing a 300 slide deck or anything like that. That's a lot of work. But up to 15 slides. So if some, I've just again, taken the material and I've put the slides together, and then those are the slides that I used when I was running the webinar for them. As I said, can set up the webinar landing page, booking page, run the webinar, manage the attendees on the day, and all of that good stuff. And also for some, it's about providing information about useful tools and technology and things that you can use to make your life easier. So as I said, everybody isn't going to want all of those things. And then in terms of just some of the key achievements with that you can come away with. So took part, as I said earlier, in their first ever successful online intro video and live Q&A. Paying clients, as I said, it just so happened that it was a good fit with my clients, but they were paying clients, increased their contact and their email database. With one, they'd never run a YouTube live premiere, didn't even know what it was. So we did a YouTube live premiere plus a Q&A. So they could be wherever they were. I was in my time zone. That was great fun. Ran their first paid half day and 1 day video webinar workshop. Had income from that paid workshop. So with the income, and both in terms of even running the free intro where they got paying clients from that, it was offsetting part of the investment in the consultancy and coaching with new income from my clients. They didn't even have to find the clients. So that is really fantastic. And improvements in health and mindset and focus. So what I'm talking about here, the page that you're looking at now is where you can book. I've set up some slots if you're watching this in real time for next week. So what you would do is you come onto here, choose the slot. So let's just say you go for 15:30. Oh, actually, let me just show you this as well. You can change the time zones. It's set for UK, but it's a drop down menu. So depending on where you are, and if you, let's say, I don't know, if you're in the UAE, it would then tell you what time it is in your local time, Dubai time, but it will translate it for me. I'm sure that makes sense. I'm guessing most of you will be completely familiar with that sort of thing. So let's just say you think, okay, I can do 15:30. Add your name, put your email address in, little bit of a code to stop the bots going crazy. So you just put in the I4Z, ZZ or ZZ, QH, whatever. It's going to change every time, of course. And then you book your intro consultation. It's free. So this will be just show 0. And with regards, the idea with the intro and qualification consultation is just to qualify, are you a good fit? Is this a good fit for you? Or is there something else that would be even better or a completely different approach? Because if you do say, yeah, I would love to do this, I want to get my product, my workshop, my webinar out into the world, or I've been really thinking about, you know, how do I take all this wonderful information I've got and present it in a way that I can break it down for people, etc. You want to also know that I'm a good fit for you, you're a good fit for me, because we're going to be working together. And some of this, of course, includes some one-to-one stuff, which we did do via Zoom, where we're mapping things out. I'm getting the information. We're having some email back and forth in terms of, hey, this is what I've created. Do you like this image? Or what do you want me to tweak, and all that sort of stuff. So you just want to make sure it's a good fit and that this is a good fit for you, because this is most definitely not for everyone. So you fill this in. Also, if the time slot that you have chosen, because if I get media stuff coming in, for example, I don't know, newspaper, interview, TV, radio, etc., they don't necessarily go in my diary, because oftentimes it's like, are you free in 20 minutes? I'm like, yeah, sure, okay. Or you know, client or a meeting, or if I'm out and about. So if the time that you choose is not available, I will email you with some alternatives, and we'll, you know, find something to slot in. But this is a good starting point, and if I am free, of course, then I will see you in the Zoom room. So yeah, this is it. And you've got a couple of dates to choose from, so you choose the date that you want. The timings will vary, and so if it says later, then there means there are later times than that. So that is it. That is it. By the time you see this in public, let me just, it's a really long URL, but the URL will be somewhere around this video. I'm just getting ready to send this to my e-newsletter list so that they get first dibs. So it's bookme.name/Marilyn Devonish. That's a one word, MARILYN DEVONISH. So bookme.name/Marilyn Devonish/webinar dash or dash workshop dash done dash with dash or dash for dash you. As I said, it's a mouthful. So if there weren't all the dashes, it's webinar or workshop done with or for you. But when you write that, of course, it puts the dashes in between each of the words. But easiest way also is just go to my main website, transformationstm.com. That's TRANCE, F for Freddy, so FORMATIONS TM.com. Actually, let me just pull it up here just so you can show you what I'm talking about. So when you land on the website, and yeah, it's an older website. This website was created in 2001. So over 20 years ago. My God, we're, 25 years at this point. And it is what it is. I actually quite like the fact that it has some legacy behind it. But what you do is it kind of gives you a little preview of the next thing that I'm running. But see this red watch new button here? If you click on the red watch new button, a panel will slide out. I haven't added this yet because I'm right this second writing it, setting up the calendar. But you have a little bit of a scroll and you see the things that are coming up. Oh my gosh, this was brilliant yesterday. Protect what's yours, the real estate trusts and estate planning and asset protection. But yeah, have a little bit of a scroll. So I will add this. So by the time you look at this, you'll see something about, I think I know what image I'll use for it. So click the red watch new button, have a little bit of a scroll, and always underneath the text and the pictures, it will say click here to book your free webinar place, click here. So these two webinars haven't happened yet. These are happening next week, next Thursday, if you want to join us, actually, because it's confusing. It looks like that's the date. That's actually the date I published it. Should actually add the date here. I'll go and edit that. But that's how you book it. But that's the booking page. So this is what you're going to be looking for. And if you are someone who would like to run your first online webinar online workshop or in person, if you're going to take the information and run it in person, then absolutely get in touch, grab this opportunity. I'm going to be offering 2 spots to do this summer. Now, you might not want to run your workshop this summer, but you can do all of the background work so that after summer you hit the ground running and you're just ready to go out there and do it. So if this sounds like you, or there is someone you know and you're like, oh my God, that would be brilliant for so-and-so, then get in touch, get yourself booked in. And for those of you who haven't met, my name is Marilyn Devonish. I've been a coach and trainer for the last, well, since October 2000, so 25 years this October, if you're watching this in real time. Trained in about 20 different modalities. I started off, I did a business studies degree, postgraduate diploma with the Chartered Institute of Marketing. I've been a remote working implementation consultant and management consultant and Prince 2 project manager since 2003. I was very quiet, very shy, lacking in confidence, very low self-esteem. So I ended up doing what I thought was just a personal development, like presentation skills, communication skills course. So I thought, and I turn up and it's full on esoteric personal development. I actually did try to get a refund because I said, this is not what I signed up for. Thankfully, I went along, they said, come and do the course. If you don't get massive value, we give you a refund at the end. Thank God, because I can't imagine my life without it. And I was a complete convert. I'm like, oh my God, because I was studying to be a chartered accountant at the time. So I gave up the accountancy studies to become a coach and therapist instead. So I'm a certified practitioner, master practitioner and trainer of NLP, of timeline therapy, trainer of hypnosis, certified photo reading, accelerated learning instructor, soul plan reader, soul plan instructor, archetypal profiling consultant, certified life coach, certified executive coach, and also trained in about 20 different modalities. So things like EFT, DNA theta healing, Hawaiian Huna. Have been out to Hawaii a couple of times to study Huna, Huna, love Huna, access consciousness, energetic NLP, tarot, positive EFT, past life regression, future life progression, opening the heart. Started off with Reiki as a receiver of Reiki in the late 1990s, around 1997, 1998. And I'm also a keynote speaker, workshop facilitator, media commentator, so regularly do live television, live radio, newspaper interviews, all of that sort of stuff. And yeah, and I've been doing online coaching, online training and online therapy since 2005. So 20 years at this point and 15 years before the whole world went crazy and went into lockdown. And so the online world and navigating technology has been my thing actually since I was in my 20s, because when I was a secretary and a PA, I was one of the only people who could operate the new IBM computer and the telex machine and the fax machine and the telephone switchboard and the franking machine. So it's kind of technology and mastering new tech has been in my blood for over 30 years. So yeah, if it's something that doesn't fill you with joy at the moment, but you want to get out there and still do it. And what was really lovely with the client I've most recently worked with, they sent me, which is why I've got a bit of time now to do a couple more in the summer. They sent me an email saying, hi Marilyn, it's been really fantastic working with you and I don't need to work with you anymore because I feel confident enough to do it for myself now, which is amazing because my logo since, I got started and the business cards that I created in January 2001, which I still use to this day, almost 25 years later, is a water drop. Because I always saw, because I used to do, well, I still do, but 1 day breakthrough sessions, that was what I did when I first started for the first 9 or 10 years. So I just worked with someone for 1 day to clear negative emotions, limiting beliefs. So anger, sadness, fear, guilt, anxiety, the I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough, all that sort of stuff. So we go in there, clear the limiting beliefs, clear the negative emotions, reset the mind, put new stuff in the timeline, bang, by the end of the day at 5 o'clock, off you go, have a nice life. And for me, the breakthrough sessions were that catalyst, that water drop in the middle and then the ripple effect of that, the positive impact of that, could continue to ripple throughout people's lives. And that's exactly what has happened with those breakthrough sessions. And years ago, I got an email from someone saying, hey, Marilyn, we did a breakthrough session and I'm working in this company. Someone's looking for an executive coach. Is that also what you do? I was like, yeah, sure, I'd be happy to speak to them. And then they said, I've been meaning to get in touch and just let you know that the benefits of the one-day breakthrough session are still, and their words were, rippling throughout my entire life. And I looked at their name and I was like, I'm pretty sure I worked with them about 10 years ago. So I went and looked in my database, and sure enough, I had done a one-day breakthrough session with them 10 years prior. I mean, I was like, whoa, I knew the power of those words when I spoke them in the year 2000. I knew that is what my intention was. And it was just really lovely to have that reflected back to me with someone who had been through that process. So it's amazing. I remember meeting a lawyer, and I met her years later. She came back and she wanted to work on something else because she was changing career. And she says, Marilyn, as a result of the breakthrough session, I went and I actually studied NLP. She said, I'm now an NLP trainer and I'm having a shift in career and I'm going to be teaching NLP to lawyers. So, and that was just as a result of doing a one-day breakthrough session. So they are super powerful. I've also been a corporate trainer since 2003. So going into organizations, mainly central and local government, all the things you would find under the banner of leadership development. So presentation skills, communication skills, emotional intelligence, project management, finance, you name it, emotional quotient. Oh gosh, anything to do with creativity, creative thinking, critical thinking and decision making, you name it. I've probably designed a good close to 100 corporate workshops now and delivered those both in person and of course online and globally. So that's it. If you're still with me, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you know someone for whom this would be a good fit, please feel free to send this information to them. And like they say in the lottery, it could be you or someone that you know. And my email is Marilyn, Marilyn at transformationstm.com. So you can ping me an email. But if you're on my e-newsletter list, this is going to be winging its way. And if you're not on my e-newsletter list, but you would like to be, very quickly here, right here, I'm here now on the left-hand side. It says sign up to our e-newsletter. Click the sign up. So you just click this here and it will then take you through to the form when it will just put you into my MailChimp list. So that's it. I shall leave it there. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you also for sharing this information and passing it on with the person or the people that you know for whom it could be a good fit. And if it is going to be you, then I really look forward to working with you. I am super excited about what you will create and put out into the world, and your audience, I'm sure, is waiting and will love it too. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Marilyn Devonish, the NeuroSuccess coach, rapid transformation specialist and futurist from TranceFormationstm.com. Over and out. I will catch you later, and I really look forward to working with you. And yes, one of the questions is you can be anywhere. The client I've just finished working with was in the United States. So it's just a case of finding a time that works with regards to our time zones. I've got someone else from Australia who's going, oh my God, I'd love to do this. So yeah, you can be anywhere in the world. All right, catch you later. And thanks for watching and sharing.